Communication processes, principles, and ethics.
Communication. Communication is simply the act of transferring information from one place, person, or group to another.
The communication processes. The communication process has 5 steps: idea formation, encoding, channel selection, decoding, and feedback. Anything that interferes with clear communication is called noise. Noise can interfere with each step of communication process.
Communication principles refers to a clearly defined procedure by which two or more people exchange knowledge, opinions, and other types of information in a formal, organizational, or commercial setting.
Next is the introduction of effective communication. It is the exchange of information, intention, and emotion. It involves clearly transmitting a message and receiving acknowledgement that the message has been received and understood by your intended audience.
The nature of language is a system for communicating. Written languages use symbols to build words. The entire set of words is language vocabulary. The ways in which the word can be meaningfully combined is defined by the language syntax and grammar. The models of communication. The first model of communication is Aristotle model of communication. Is mainly focused on speaker's role to deliver a speech on occasion for a specific audience to create favorable effect. The Aristotle model suggests that when a speaker gives a speech, the communication process occurs in one-way fashion from speaker to receiver. Sender, speech, occasion, receiver, effect.
Next, it is the Lasswell's model of communication. It was one of the first and most influential models of communication. It was initially published by Harold Lasswell in 1948 and analyzed communication in terms of 5 basic questions:
Who says what, in what channel, to whom, and with what effect. The Shannon-Weaver model of communication is based on the idea that communication is a linear and one-way process that involves 6 elements: a source, a transmitter, a channel, a receiver, destination, and noise.
Next is the SMCR model of communication. It was developed by David Berlo and includes 4 components: sender, message, channel, and the receiver. This model views communication as the transfer of information. The sender transforms a thought into a message or encodes the message.
Osgood Schramm's model of communication is known as a circular model because it indicates that message can go in 2 directions.
Next is the Wesley and Maclean model. It is primarily used for explaining mass communication. This model introduced environmental and cultural factors to the process of communication.
Barnlund's transactional model was developed by communication theorists Barnlund and Watzlawick in the late 1960s. In this model, communication is viewed as a two-way process where both the sender and the receiver of a message are considered to be active participants in the communication process. Dance's Helical model. Frank Dance published the Helical model of communication in 1967. Using this model, he emphasized his role of disruptions and problem in communication. In the model, communication is represented as a spiral process from a person's birth to the present. Types of communication. Communication according to mode is the means of communicating, the medium through which communication is processed. There are 3 modes of communication: interpretive communication, interpersonal communication, and presentational communication.
Communication contexts include intrapersonal, interpersonal, group, public, and mass communication. Each context has its own advantages and disadvantages, and its appropriate and inappropriate uses.
Communication according to purpose and style. Based on the style and purpose, there are two main categories of communication and they both bears their own characteristics. Communication types based on style and purpose are formal communication and informal communication.